Genghis Khan, born as Temujin in the mid-12th century, rose from a difficult childhood to become one of history's most powerful and successful conquerors. By the time of his death in 1227, he had established the largest contiguous empire ever seen, stretching across much of Asia and into Europe. Polo's accounts include a chilling detail that the funeral procession killed anyone and anything that crossed their path, believing these victims would serve the Khan in the afterlife. This practice ostensibly helped keep the burial site secret, but the exact location remains undiscovered. Some theories suggest he was buried near the Muna Mountains in Inner Mongolia, where the funeral procession supposedly got stuck, while others argue his body was transported back to Mongolia and buried in an unmarked grave, according to Mongol customs which forbade markers on graves to ensure the soul's peace. Despite his prominence, the circumstances of his death remain shrouded in mystery, with various accounts describing different causes, including falling from a horse, being shot by an arrow, death by lightning, or even a fatal struggle with a concubine. Written records about the Mongol Empire were sparse until after the dynasty settled in China, and Persia and Soviet-era policies further suppressed nationalistic symbols, including those related to Genghis Khan's burial site. Today, although Mongolia is more accessible, the grave remains a deeply guarded secret, partly out of respect for the Khan's wishes and partly due to fears of desecration. Thus, the final resting place of Genghis Khan continues to captivate historians, archaeologists, and curious minds worldwide, symbolizing an unresolved chapter in world history. However, the most enduring enigma surrounding Genghis Khan is the location of his burial site, which remains unknown to this day. Historical texts and explorers such as Marco Polo have attempted to describe the Khan's burial place and funeral rites. The conquests reshaped the geopolitical landscape of Eurasia and established a dynasty with lasting cultural and political influence. This underscores the power of individual agency in history, especially when combined with strategic vision and ruthless decisiveness. The mystery of the grave is compounded by Mongolia's vast size, nomadic culture, and limited archaeological exploration due to its remoteness and political history. Unlike other ancient civilizations, with centralized urban centers and monumental tombs, the Mongol Empire's dispersed and mobile nature contributed to the grave's obscurity. The Soviet-era suppression of Mongolian nationalism and cultural symbols significantly hindered research and recognition of Genghis Khan's historical significance within Mongolia itself. This illustrates the broader theme of how political ideologies and regimes can influence the preservation, destruction, or rewriting of history, often affecting national identity and collective memory. This insight highlights how environmental and societal factors shape the availability and preservation of historical data. These stories, ranging from battlefield wounds to supernatural causes, reflect both the fascination with his persona and the challenges historians face in separating fact from fiction. It symbolizes a broader human desire to connect with the past and solve historical puzzles. The story also serves as a reminder that even the most powerful figures can leave behind mysteries that challenge our understanding and invite ongoing inquiry. The variety of narratives also serve to amplify his mystique and enduring allure in popular imagination. Mongolian reverence for Genghis Khan's wishes means many oppose disturbing the site, fearing desecration and loss of cultural sanctity. This tension between academic curiosity and cultural respect raises important questions about the limits of archaeological exploration. Highlights this cultural practice, combined with deliberate actions to protect the burial site, such as killing all who witnessed, the funeral procession created an effective mechanism to maintain secrecy. It reveals how cultural beliefs about death and the afterlife can directly influence historical outcomes, including the preservation or loss of archaeological evidence. Genghis Khan built the largest contiguous empire in history by 1227. Multiple conflicting accounts exist about Genghis Khan's death. The location of Genghis Khan's burial remains a centuries-old mystery. Funeral rites reportedly involved killing thousands to serve the Khan in the afterlife. Mongolia's vast and remote landscape has hindered archaeological discovery. Soviet-era suppression obscured Mongolian cultural heritage, including the Khan's tomb. Mongolian respect for the Khan's wish to remain undisturbed continues to protect his grave secrecy. Key insights. Legacy of conquest and empire. Genghis Khan's transformation from a marginalized youth to the ruler of the largest contiguous empire highlights the extraordinary impact of his leadership and military innovation, historical ambiguities and myth-making, the contradictory accounts of Genghis Khan's death, exemplify how legendary figures often become enveloped in myth and folklore. Secrecy and burial customs. Mongol traditions emphasized leaving graves unmarked, with the belief that the soul's journey did not require earthly monuments. Geographical and cultural barriers. Mongolia's immense size, harsh terrain, and nomadic lifestyle have historically limited archaeological activity and the transmission of written history. Asterisk impact of political regimes on cultural heritage. Archaeological challenges and ethical considerations. Asterisk. Modern efforts to locate the tomb face practical difficulties due to restricted areas and natural terrain, but also ethical dilemmas. Enduring global fascination, the unresolved mystery of Genghis Khan's burial site continues to captivate historians, archaeologists, and the general public worldwide.